What I'm trying to say, this is a hinder for me because there's so many who is not on my side. But some of my daughters and some of my daughters and my son have embraced me through this. I got to keep on speaking. I got to preach, keep on preaching to America, saying, "Thus said the Lord," because it's in the hearts of the United States of America to do evil, to continue to do evil. But the only way they can do evil and bridge a wall against me, is to fabricate lies against me, to make it look as if I am a drug dealer or somewhat. Using this weapon, this is the same weapon they're going to use to the society of God's people over there in the Middle East, pretending once they get established, they're going to pretend there's drug users and drug dealers when they're not. They're going to use this weapon to take their crude oil and build and set up prison over there and imprison God's people. They're going to use drugs and alcohol to say that they was criminal, had criminal mind. But you believe this. And as you wage war because of the mindset of these people, you got to believe the side of the truth. And when you find the real truth, you got to tear down their walls and their infrastructure of hatred. Because the purpose is why they're going over there is going over there to take all the crude oil in the world. And when they get this crude oil in the world, they will alienate you in everybody else upon the face of the earth. They're going to bind you in their presence and take away the thing that you hope them to be, and make you serve them as if they are your God. You got to remember this. You got to go against this man. You got to fight against him. It doesn't matter how it takes, because the same way he caused you to alienate other peoples, he gonna alienate you and kill you until your carcass rot upon this earth. He gonna show his dark side, where he's against everything about God. Well, Daniel chapter 11 is unfolding itself over in Egypt right now. I brought you the part of Daniel chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. But Daniel chapter 11, as of now, is unfolding itself over there in the Middle East, where he said that they was going to go in over there and they're going to take all the crude, all the richness out of the Middle East. And they're going to take it to the north and store it in north, in Iraq. And sooner or later, as they come down by the Nile River, they know that the Nile River is full of gold and silver. My mother would use the term filthy rich. People might see this as an insult to me saying this, but when you get so much and there's no more to put in your houses, and you just have gold, silver, and you be caught up with the silver and gold. My mother used to say they filthy rich. In other words, they is got something the poor people don't have. Not talking about the wealth that the man have in the bank. My mother was talking about the Antichrist, the wealth that then built and put in their store. They think that they can get this here and dominate and rule all the peoples of the earth. And done so, my mother called them filthy rich, but we was filthy poor. We became the means upon which the parasites of the earth converged upon and became bloodsuckers and kept us poor, and we kept borrowing and borrowing and borrowing, yet we was the vessels that built the infrastructure of the United States of America. The richness built the riches and the wealth of the United States of America, built the houses of our slave masters, and yet maintain the food upon the table of our children. But now they have made it a myth that we cannot survive upon our own power until we have to look for a governmental assistance to take us from point A to point B, or take us, elevate us. Because we can't go to point A. We keep being poor. We keep living under poverty infrastructure of America. We have no refuge. We have no place of freedom in the earth because it is the Gentiles who is came from the body of the white man who keep plaguing and plaguing us with plague and fabricating a lie, making sure that we don't live on our own power, that we should always be a burden, be assisted by the Antichrist, the system that keep us in poverty. There is no end of our embedment that we may gain the power to be equal to the white man. By design, it was created and manufactured this way. And by design, it was them, through sinister means and sinister measure, they plagued our inhabitants with drugs and alcohol to further contain our mind using the means of our young black people. And every time we sit up and try to find our way, they darken our sight with drugs and alcohol by out of malice. They do this, but yet it's the ignorance of our own who came from us, who is not of us, but have the mind of the evil of the synagogues of Satan, who work against the grain, which was a fruitful branch, which came from the tree of us. They are working against us to further alienate us. But thank God for Jesus Christ, his Son. Through his works, through his ways, we will redeem shortly. He will bring an end to the man who have designed and created a plague against us. Because the Middle East is going to run out of crude oil. This man is a hasty and greedy man who discard the words of the living God from the foundation. When he spoke to Adam and Eve and said, be fruitful and multiply, he spoke this to the peoples out of the branch of Adam. But the man who have set his bound and created a myth of controlship, who rule over us with his rules of laws and his agony are weapons of defense which keep us bound. He has set his bounds of injustice upon us, and he continued to plague us with lies and multiplication of lies, pretending that he is God sent, and he knows that he is not. He is the syndicate of hell, and the minds of Satan dwells among him, where because he have taken everything in his power, he continued to dominate and rule over us. Through his plague, a weaponry of man's weapons of mass destruction, he has set his bounds over the whole entire earth, distorting, rooting up, and tearing down the faithfulness of the truth. He has plagued our children, causing them to lie against us. He has plagued our children with a plague of deception, where the child will deceive his father, and the father will deceive his child because of a mythical thing they call resource of money. We must turn back, find our way back, and find a way to break the yoke from around our neck upon which this man